kid sweating meme.
Welcome back, everybody. We're having a riveting discussion about some meme that Lorenzo's trying to get across to me that I can't picture. What is it? Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, you did not. You made it seem like the hoodie was the staple of the meme. That the hoodie is like the focal point. What? He could have been in a t-shirt. He could have been any type of way. He could have been naked for all I care, or in a tank top, in a wife beater. But it's the veins that, the constipation is what you should have led with.
Is that what it is? That man looks like he's trying to blow somebody's fucking head up with his mind. My man's just,
yeah. No, he's deep in thought, definitely. And you said he's trying to solve an equation. Is that usually the?
It looks like he's taking a test or some shit. Mm-hmm. But they have different memes. Like one's like when you have it told somebody this, and is like he's like sweating. Like you ever have to pee so bad that you start sweating and shit?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of like
absolutely.
that. You're so like, it's like I got to get this out of me, and you're sweating because you've got to get it out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that. Yeah.
Let's tarry no further. We have somebody exceptional here with us who's waiting in the rafters for an introduction, and I couldn't be more pleased to announce that we have joining us on episode 90. We have Ren Q in the building via Discord remotely. Heck yes. What is going on, my man?
Cam.
What is happening?
I'm so happy to be here in this like beautiful little box with you.
Which it took me forever to make, so I'm glad you appreciate it. I
built this box from scratch. Thank you.
If it looks ghetto, if it looks off, it's because I really was scrambling at the last minute to crop everything. So if it looks off, I'm a stickler for detail. So when nothing's, or when something's off, when it doesn't seem perfect, or it doesn't seem like I tried to make it perfect, I'm fixating over it. I'm having a panic attack. So as long as nobody notices, as long as I spend 2 minutes talking about it, I'm sure nobody will notice that I
feel like people are less likely to look for it if you go ahead and explain it.
You think so? Oh yeah, because I ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. Gotcha. It's like, oh, fuck. There's somebody with a fucking heart on right now waiting to find some type of flaw that might usually be there or something, and you took the fun away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about the chase,
Exactly. If they feel like a voyeur, if they feel like they walked in on some naughty shit. Yeah, but then
you explain like a bad joke, and suddenly they're like, oh, I have amnesia. What bad joke? And now all I hear is your self-criticism, which now I'm also going to fixate on. It's like,
like this, right? Let's say we got some high-class celebrity, politician, whatever. He's like, all right, I'm going to be in this hotel room with strippers, and I'm going to live stream it. Now it's not fun to catch them in a scandal because they already told us they're doing it. It's not fun no more. It's like, everyone knows he's doing that. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Fuck him. No, fuck his strippers in his hotel room.
Is that why we really stand George Santos, right? Because he's just like sue me for having a life. Yeah, of course I did that in Arkansas in 1996 with a bunch of drag queens, obviously, and everyone's just like.
Yes.
He's like, who does
live
that?
your life, girlfriend?
Who doesn't do that?
Exactly.
Her career is just beginning.
We'll see about that. So he got expelled from Congress, or he got removed, whatever. Is he just? But he's getting sued by New York, right? So he's going to have to pay. Because of the embezzling. Election funds. Yeah, that's what it is. Shit. That's right.
The cool shit.
Yeah, the cool shit. The OnlyFans purchase and all that other fun stuff. All the clothing. I mean, we're just a queen in all every aspect of the phrase. Yes. Oh man, let's get your dates out of the way up front. I mean, so you're going on tour. Do I have that correct?
Yeehaw.
Do you tour often? That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm stoked. It's not like this, right? This is the first time that I've ever done something that's
so this is the first time. Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit of a whirlwind. I've like gone other places and like done comedy, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like a trip to Chicago does not a tour make, right? So I'm super stoked to get to like do a bunch of stuff like back to back to back. And it's like a little wild too, because it's like you're driving from Colorado, being East Coast, flying to St. Louis, flying back, being in New York, fly to Portland, fly back to New York. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a lot of like back and forth, but it's just kind of how the cookie crumbled and it worked out. So I'm hyped though. It's gonna be great. Like
that's awesome. Yeah, you got a good list of places here. You're starting in Washington D.C. Okay. Do you know where that's at? Because we can tell people.
Oh gosh, I got a couple. Hold on.
No, you're good.
Pull it up. I have the two big shows that I got on the East Coast are actually in my hometown in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. That's on the 1st of March. We also got a really cool one in Frederick, which I think is on the 22nd. And
yeah, you got 3 DC shows. And I'll go down the list here, what you have on Instagram. I'll just say, so you're starting in DC, February 20th, 2024. These are all 2024 dates. And then Frederick, like you said, on the 22nd. I'm actually joining you for that, which I can't thank you enough for inviting me. It's an honor.
So stoked. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna, and I want to get into how we met as well after this and launch from there. But after that, the 23rd, more DC, 24th, more DC, 27th, you're going to Arlington.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. And then you're making your way down to West Virginia, it looks like, on March 1st, St. Louis, March 3rd, Brooklyn, the 4th, 9th in Portland, 9th and 10th in Portland, 12th in Seattle, and March 13th wraps it up in New York. Wow, that is...
Yeah, I actually got 2 more like show dates that just got like finalized on that.
What?
So on the 16th, I'll be in Northampton, Massachusetts, and I think on the 18th, I'll be in Omaha.
Okay. Omaha, fun stuff. I have family in Nebraska, so I haven't been to Omaha in, oh my God, it's had like 4 years, something like that, but...
I've never been, but it's like I've like heard surprisingly good things. I'm like, people seem to like get down and like, I don't know, people seem to like to party, so I'm like, all right.
I don't know if you're vegetarian or anything, but good steak. They got we were talking about zoos. I don't know if that was off mic, but they're revered for this big old zoo, and it's like a big desert dome and shit. It's pretty cool. I don't know if it's been upkept well, but that was always a big. Everybody made a point of you got to go to the zoo in Omaha. Every time we went, so that's an interesting experience. But yeah, you're shaking your head over there, disapprovingly. So, I mean, they're still suffering. Rest assured, the animals are still not having a good time, but you will, and that's what matters. I think when you buy tickets, just don't look too closely. Yeah.
As long as we could state, as long as the people know the animals are indeed suffering.
Yeah, that's what matters at the end of it. Really.
Don't fool yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't fool yourself.
Speaking of suffering, so we met at an open mic. We met in that was, you were the highlight of the mic for me, honestly, because I had seen all of those people before because they're all local. That's such is the nature of an open mic, is that it's like it's just a revolving door for people you've seen all their bits. So it's always refreshing to see somebody new with just anything different. Like, please, and I'm no exception. I was doing like the same shit, so people were not thrilled to see me there. But I think I even incorporated a little bit of one of your bits into my set because it really just took me.
That was so funny. It was literally one of the most like flattering things I've ever experienced. Because you're like 2 minutes deep in this set, and then you're just like, bro, I just like can't stop thinking about this. Like you having like a fake dick drop on like the ground of a gas station right next to me, and like it was just amazing. It was
and on the floor of a bathroom of all places too. I can't think of a more disgusting because you got to put that back in your pants.
Yeah, where are you gonna hide it? You know what I mean? Like,
that's like a staph infection waiting to happen. That's just like madness. I would never.
Did you wrap it up and like toilet paper at least.
Would you like to explain the joke and make it funnier by explaining it?
I'll give you like the podcasty version, right? So
yeah,
and this is all true. I was in Arizona, and I was hiking around, and I really had to pee, and so I like ran to the public restroom. And I like I forgot that I was wearing a Packer, which I don't actually wear all the time, and so I'm not that cognizant of when I have it on. And so for those of you that don't know, a Packer is something that someone wears when they don't necessarily have a penis, but they would like to make it look like they have a penis, and it's not a real penis. It's kind of like a flaccid dildo that you put in your pants to make it look like you have it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. Right. And so got it, and like I go to the bathroom, really got to go. And you know how you do when you rip your pants down because you're like, I got to go now, and I do that. And like when that happens, like I just like my boxers kind of do that little tussle thing. And I just watch like my dick just kind of pop out of my pants. Oh. And it just like rolls all the way down and like onto the floor. And it just kind of like it has all this momentum. And so it like scoots into the other stall. With a dude in it.
Yeah. And
I'm just kind of like, it was like the longest like 12 seconds of my life of just being like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Right? Do you try to like kind of scoop it with your foot? Do you like ask for it back? Do you just pretend like that didn't happen? Yeah. Like, what do you do? Right? And this dude just like very casually just kind of nudged it back over and like pushed it over back into my stall. And he was like, hey man, I think you dropped your dick. Like super friendly. And I was like, brilliant. And like, it's like funny because I don't even have like a good punchline to that joke, but just the story itself is one of my favorite things to tell because it's
punchline in itself. Truly, right? Just his response is candid. Yeah. I think you dropped something, man. I don't know.
There's nothing to say. I wouldn't know what to say. I'd be like, First off, I'd probably be like, what the fuck? What's under my stall? And then I'm like, that's a dick.
Who is this leper with his body parts falling off? What is happening?
Bro, I'm surprised you like, you okay, bro?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I think you should get this. Maybe you gotta go to the doctor, get that reattached or something. I'd be like, bitches are crazy, ain't they?
Now, I don't want to get too in the weeds on it if you're not comfortable, but just the concept of someone else seeing it is so fascinating to me. To let alone the fact that I get scared of even dropping my phone on the bathroom floor, but to drop something you have to put it into your pants after. It doesn't matter how long I wash it for. It's just like I got to throw it out. It's gotta. But is this something that's like specially made to order, or how realistic is it?
Great question, and it really depends. So it's like Packers can be anything from like a nice sock to like, you know what I mean, that you just kind of like wad up and it's like that, or like literally like a homie wouldn't know that it wasn't like a real dick, you know, because it's so hyper realistic. So that you have like a good range. I would say I'm like, I'm a budget buyer, but I'm also like not just like trying to put a sock down my pants, right? And so I'm kind of in that like mid-range product where it's it looks like a dick, it feels like a dick, but like does it have veins? Probably not. Is it airbrushed? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, but it's nice because like now, I mean, back in like when I came out, this like was not the case. Like we did not have products for like trans people like this. But now it's basically like a Sears catalog. You're just like, oh, what size do you want to get? Uncircumcised, circumcised. You know what I mean? You get to like kind of like pick it out. So it's nice because you get to like get something that feels like you. I don't know. Like me, it just kind of feels like a dick, but it's fine. It does.
I don't know if you can see the screen here, but I saw a documentary with my boyfriend recently, or a docuseries on Netflix called Mer People. It's just been it's been on my brain ever since seeing that, because and this is what it reminds me of. There's all these people who pine over these mermaid tails, these handmade tails, because there's only like a handful of places that manufacture them. So what I'm hearing is like you're somewhere in between, but there's like a high-end mermaid tail manufacturer that everyone goes to. Everyone goes to the Mer Tailor is his name.
See, right, we got even just right here. It's like you got like the $379.
Exactly.
That's like, and then over here on kind of the left side, you got like the $17.99.
Yes.
I think that I'm somewhere in that mid range where it's like the 37 to 76.
I got you. I felt like this would be a good analogy so that we didn't have to just pull up phallic objects on screen, so we don't get taken down from YouTube or any of that. We could have done this on Twitch yesterday, as a matter of fact. Did you hear about that? Twitch allowed nudity for 24 hours yesterday.
Wow.
So the 24-hour period, you could have anything nude as long as it wasn't overtly pornographic, like people straight up nude, like no naked people. It had to be artful, and it was really loose language that they did not vet adequately enough, because what ended up happening was, again, for a 24-hour period, they just had like furry porn on the main page and people drawing artistic images of sexual acts with like as many loopholes as they could find, but it was just straight up pornography. And so they immediately repealed everything, and were like, because sponsors, I'm sure, were freaking out and like, what is happening?
Who like proposed that? Who like pitched that to the board? You know what I mean? Like, what dude like hit a bong before their meeting? Yeah. And they were like, Jeremy, what do you got? And they're like, what if we let people be naked for a day? You know, that would be that could work for us. And they're just like, I love it, print it, sell it, get it.
And like, this was not like a limited time thing. This was these were new rules they were looking to implement going forward, that they had to go back on within 24 hours because of how much of a disaster it was for their sponsors and for the longevity of Twitch. So, I mean, it truly just a nightmare of a situation. Like Coca-Cola, I imagine, is calling Jeff Bezos or whoever, like, hey, what's going on? Why in between our freestyle machine ad is there somebody freestyling on a bad dragon?
That reminds me of like when Mark Zuckerberg had to go to court, and it was like all these old like ancient white men just being like, now Mr. Zuckerberg, can you tell me why when my daughter puts her iPhone, she can pull up a picture of a nude man? And he's like, I don't run Google.
That's not on me. Yeah. Can we keep the questioning to my department, to my app, please? Yeah, that was awesome. God. It just goes to show how like fucking out of it these old people are. I mean, we did a whole 2 episodes on Mitch McConnell, and that was some of the most fun I've had on the podcast. Was just
podcast on Mitch McConnell,
just examining him shut down and not work anymore for minutes. I had it pinned to my Instagram for a while, just the clip of that, because I would watch it, because I'd go back. I just want to re-examine this.
Yeah.
Oh man. So no, if I can go back. So we met at that mic, and that joke that you told about your packer really resonated with me in just such a way that it stuck with me. What brought you to Crystal City? Were you doing another tour of sorts? Were you visiting DC?
I was there for work. I got flown in for kind of a different thing. I work in higher education, and I was there for like a conference basically. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, well, if y'all put me up at like this really swanky hotel for like a week, you know what I mean? Then like I'm gonna take advantage of that. I'm just gonna go try to hit some mics. Yeah. And I got to go to the I went to like Crystal City. I got to do one of my favorites was what's it called? It was like the shuffle or something. Comedy shuffle, I want to say. Yes, yeah, and that was just really fun, and it was just really fun to like meet people and just kind of like, once again, it's like similar in Denver, right? It's like you have all these comics and you've heard all their jokes a million times, and so it was just really lovely to just be like, even like I love bad jokes, and so like even just going and being like, oh my god, like fresh bad jokes, like it's like so refreshing. So so I was just kind of there hanging around, and did like a quick stop back at home in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, and got to say hi to my people, and then scooted right on back.
That's what's up. Okay. So you really only did a handful then. That was a chance meeting we have, because I'm barely at that mic. That was over at Dead Horse, Joey Coon's mic, and that's not a slur. That's just somebody's actual name. But he's a great person with a great. I know you. I got the side eye. So let me just clarify, please. And there's another guy. I kid you not. There's another guy who runs a mic named Adam Coonan, which is like, that's treading the line. That's walking a fine line there. But Joey is just right.
That might be worse.
Oh, really?
What the hell were they doing? They over there.
The Coonan mic. I'm black. I just want to clarify. I really want to make that clear for everybody.
He is black. Me and Christian are related. He's just fair passing.
We are really. You mentioned to me that you're from West Virginia.
That's right, fam. Yeah. I grew up West Virginia, and I left for Colorado when I was like 22 or so. I've been in Colorado for like 5 years.
Got you. So direct pathway, West Virginia to Colorado. My ex, of all people, reached out when he saw that I posted that I'd be performing with you and Frederick, to say we had people added in common or whatever. I'm so bad at explaining social media, but we had people following you, or there was some tie between him but he's from West Virginia. He's from Beckley, West Virginia, and cool. He's funny enough, he's living in Denver right now, and he's a botanist. And so I was like, what is the West Virginia Colorado pipeline? What is happening here?
It is true. I also have a lot of West Virginia homies that like came out here, and it's just like
so strange.
Very strange that it's like the direct channel, of all places. I feel like West Virginians will, especially in like kind of the Eastern Panhandle, I'd see a lot of homies go to Colorado, or they would go to Asheville, or they would go to Philly. Mm-hmm. And like that was like kind of the vibe. And so
he went to Colorado recently by way of George Mason here. So I mean, it was kind of a split, WV to VA to fucking CO or whatever, I think. But I did find that fucking weird and trippy, and it's like all fate. And I'm not one of those horoscope ladies who believes in all that fate and manifest, but I was like, that's freaky. Jesus is involved somehow.
Jesus is involved.
Yeah, I know. I better go to Chick-fil-A and pay my respects at some point.
You could go to cookout and do that.
Yeah.
We could do a show in their parking lot on Sundays. It's a great free venue,
Not to bring something up that you know nothing about, but we had an episode go up yesterday where we're investigating Cookout currently. I don't know if you're familiar with the Cookout fast food chain of restaurants. It's really affordable and great, but on the side of one of their cups that I had on last Friday evening, I noticed a phone number that said 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If not, call such and such number. So we did an investigation to see. I would just want to know what sort of recourse you had as a customer with Cookout, which again, very affordable. I doubt there's more than 2 people on that line at any given time because they're cutting costs over a Cookout. But I was curious, so we did it live on the air, and it was just like a robocall, real scammy situation. It sounded like they were trying to sell you something. And then we recorded again last night with someone else and went round 2 of our investigation live again. And we actually got in touch with somebody after the initial robocall. There was somebody on the line, and they were selling life alert devices. And
what number?
I know that it's trust me, listen, but I have a development. As of today. I've at work, instead of doing my job, I was on company time researching this number to see if I screwed up somehow, because the lady on the line suggested, numbers change, or maybe the wrong number got hit or something. But while I have you, can I sell you one? It'd make a great Christmas present for Mom. We'll ship it to you for free. And so we had a great conversation with May Lynn about the Life Protect 24/7 life alert device. But I went online, I looked up Cookout customer satisfaction number, and just front and center came up this number that, sure enough, it was 1 digit off from the number I called. And the number that was different, it was, I had typed in a 5 when I placed the phone call initially, but it's actually 6 in place of that 1 5. And the font on the cup made it look like, I guess, it made it look like a 5. So we're going.
Do you think it was? Like,
I don't know.
Like they use,
a misdirect.
Font to be like, ooh, if it's papyrus, they can't tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because our initial hypothesis was like, okay, this is like clearly some sort of scam funnel, like Cookout selling real estate on their cups to get you to buy, or to get old people, because they're the only people that would call a number on a cup, or old people, and they would then they would buy a life alert, right? It would make sense, but evidently that's a stretch. So maybe tomorrow with our guest, if I can do a little prep beforehand, we can call the actual number and see if we can get in touch with somebody. But I did want to update the audience, because that's up there with the Mitch McConnell analysis in just like moments on the podcast, where this lady was super sweet. I almost got a life alert shipped here for my mother, because but then to hear those fees, to hear the maintenance fee on those things, holy shit, it was like $60 a month or $400 a year. Just to make sure she doesn't fall. Bitch, fall. Bust your head. Bye. What?
I'm paying for this shit. You better use it.
You don't know how to triple click on your iPhone EMS? What? $400 a month.
Right? I'm like, can't we like jerry rig an AirTag or something now?
Yes, please. Oh my word! That was, and I knew it was a racket, and it was at the tail end. She was like, "So what's the address?" And I was like, "Hey, now I got to hear it.
She was
what's
good.
this going to cost me?" Yeah,
I bet she's got to be good. Like, how else do you how else do you sell people a subscription device over the phone?
Yeah, and she almost got me too. She almost got me.
Hey, Lynn.
I was wondering how you're going to talk your way out of it.
Yeah, it was an art. And again, I'm done sucking myself off after this, but that was just like
Mom died.
It was up there. It was an elegy, truly, from start to finish. So you were visiting on work when we met. Good. What kind of mics are you hitting in? Sorry, let me back up. Are you mic hopping a lot out in Colorado, or are you just at the point where you're, let me get paid? It shows, period, and mics are sparse, because I'm just getting started, so I don't have a choice. I'm just now getting booked on showcases, so it's like, oh, thank goodness. But these mics, like what's that like out there? Are you active in the scene?
Yeah, that's a good question. Colorado's got a great scene right now, and it's amazing. And so we have a lot of mics and we have a lot of showcases, and so I think that's a good healthy mix of both. I think in January I have like 11 shows or something that are all like showcases, like kind of paid things, and then I just try to kind of make the commitment to myself to like do at least one mic a week, regardless of if I'm like working otherwise. And that's been really good. I think it like helps me kind of stay consistent. I think that there's also an energy, like there's a difference, right? And then I see it in other comedians too that are like really good. They're all, they're doing almost nothing but shows, but I see the homies that are doing a lot of shows and then also going to mics, like kind of absorbing a little bit differently in their you know what I mean? They just like relate to audiences a little bit differently. They might be a little bit more like skilled at like crowd work or something, because they have to kind of get through some hurdles.
Yeah.
And I think that it just shows. And then in the Denver scene, I would say that it's just, I'm sure it is in DC too, right? It's all networking. And so being able to, like, for me, often, like last night, I went to a mic, but I didn't even go up. I just kind of went to, like, talk to my people, hear some stuff, kind of get inspired, do a little bit of writing, and, like, and just kind of be present. So I think that it's a good, healthy mix of both. But Denver's had a lot of really, and not just Denver, too, Fort Collins especially, has a lot of really fun mics that give you a similar vibe as a showcase. And
really?
And that's really great. Not all, right? Some are just kind of classic palette style mics, like the basement of a pub, and there's like 7 people there, and 6 of them are comedians.
A lot of that
right?
in DC. A lot.
So we of course that's real, and that's here too. But there's a couple different like comedy clubs that just kind of host an open mic night, and so you go there and people go for cheaper free comedy, and you get to basically have a real crowd, and it, which is really, really nice. And so I think that having like a good mix of both is important. And I was like listening to a thing the other day, and it was about a dude who was on like the Daily Show or something, and it was like his first big TV like moment or whatever, and and he like crushed it. He like did amazing, you know. Even like the host afterwards was like nailed it, you know. And right afterwards, he was on like such a high, and he literally was like, oh, I need to like go get grounded again. And so that same night he like went to like some pub, and just did like bombed. Not a single homie. Like the only person that laughed like did not speak English. You know what I mean? Like, it was like,
why
rough.
do that to yourself?
Like,
just fucking go pop bottles and a sweet somewhere. Call it. Right? That's. I mean, go out on a high.
Right? You know, you gotta have like both. And like in comedy, there's kind of that.
Not the same night.
Like underdog vibe, right? Like it's like that kind of like underground. Like I love, man. I'm just like such a little romantic for it. Like I love like a grimy pub. I love like a pub that you're like, oh, people used to have to like smoke in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I like love that vibe, and like that's usually where you can find kind of your like crummy open mics. And I don't know. I'm like nostalgic for it.
You got to check out the Comedy Loft when you're here if you're not already going up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, the oh my gosh, the nightcap on Saturdays is easily my favorite mic to go to, other than my own, with M. And let me make that clear. Go there first, and then if you're, but it's so great because it's. I mean, I was going to sort of. I was going to add to you're saying like the people that you notice who do mics and do paid gigs constantly, they have a different flow where they look like they're more prepared almost because they're getting all sorts of responses. Because I mean, it's sometimes it's hard to win over these comics who, again, these are people who are seeing your material over and over again. And if you're not just like some crazy workhorse with, I mean, you got to have data or room to just have sets on sets and, you know, have 40 minutes up there at any given time to, you know, try some new shit. I mean, people are really just testing and refining their 10 to 20 minutes at these mics, right? But and these comics, they see it over and over again. So it's going to be hard to get them to laugh. And usually people who are overexposed to anything become desensitized to it. And getting those types of people to laugh, you really have to go some places that, I don't know about in Colorado, but in DC, if you go to those places that you have to go for these comics, you'll lose some people. So I'd be afraid to, like, I feel like when I'm in the pocket for a showcase and I start doing well at those, I'm gonna maybe skip some mics those weeks or that month, right? Just so I can be in tune with the regular people and not have to like go so dark or go so
super
edgy.
Real, right? Because otherwise you're just kind of like, it's like you know, you get like a cheap suicide joke and communians are like, and then like you go to a normal homie and they're like,
what? People are coming up to you after, are you okay? Really? Like, we liked you.
It's just like, are you good? Like,
you said you're going to drive off a bridge after this. Do you mean that? Or should I have laughed? Yes, it's over. Thanks.
Like, no, I don't mean it because I don't get the insurance if I do it on purpose. So it was definitely an accident when it happens tonight.
It's an accident, yeah. Oh my God.
When it happens tonight, it's definitely an accident.
But I do love the nightcap on Saturdays at the Comedy Loft because it is all comics usually, and just a couple of stragglers from the upstairs bar that hear something's going on downstairs in the basement, and it's always a good time because the few people that are in there, they're there to laugh. It's midnight. It's like you're there for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The one you went to, or that we met at, I should say, is it's hit or miss because that's a dedicated bar with people there to be alcoholics first and foremost, and then there's this comedy going on in the background interfering with that.
That was definitely the vibe. I feel like you said it really well. These people are here to drink, and then they're here to watch sports, and then they're here to ignore us doing comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a pretty backdrop they have and everything, and it's great for photos and stuff. But winning people over, and especially that bar, is again, it's a gamble. So that would not be the place I decided to go after my TV debut, after my 5-minute television spot. Would not go to the Crystal City Sports.
Oh my God.
unless people were there to laugh. But that's the distinction I'd make between doing stuff in front of normal people versus in front of like broken, miserable people. You know.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love everybody. And you said it at the top. This is largely networking. I haven't had to network since I was in, I don't know, like high school, right? I feel like, because I didn't go to college. I didn't have those experiences where I needed to meet people to get internships and make connections. But for this, it's like, oh, where's the happening spot? Where do I need to be? Whose hand do I need to shake? Who do I need to add on Instagram, whatever?
Yeah, exactly. That's like literally it, because it's like you literally need to like know the homie who has the spreadsheet.
Exactly.
You know, and that is linked, and then hopefully that link is updated, and hopefully they're like checking their Instagram that day, and like that's.
You got to run it by 3. Does this place exist still? Please tell me it does, because this is the only time I'm available. Oh my gosh. And I've been having a blast doing it and meeting some really great people in the process. I mean, shout out to M, shout out to Dwayne White is putting me on a showcase in February. So I'm doing 2 shows in February as far as I know. I'm possibly doing 1 in January. And I got to put a little thing together like you have, an image with all my dates coming up. I'm getting to that point where it's like, I got to keep everything straight, you know? But I'm gay, so that's an issue to do. No, that was bad.
That doesn't make sense to me. I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I'm.
You're missing out. Do you really? No, that's a real. To pivot for a moment. Earlier, when you were having issues joining Ren, Lorenzo was trying to bond with me, I guess. Look, he's fucking. And he was like, you know, I really, because I was freaking him out about cropping everything and making sure it looked good for this. And he was like, "You're doing great. I admire you. You're awesome. I wish I was you. I wish I was a great musician.
Like,
I wish
strong, independent black man. Like, I support you. Like, I'm here.
And I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm like, okay, thank you, because I'm freaking out. And he goes, I wish I was gay. And then I just that's where he lost me. Who the fuck? What?
I wish I was gay. God, I resonate with that, but like in a different context, right?
But no, he totally. I was like, okay, now this isn't sincere. Now none of this meant anything, and now I know. Thanks. Because I mean, who wish? No, I'm playing. I mean, I guess I like being gay, kind of, you know, but it's not. I'm not.
So you're gay?
Yeah, it's not something.
Like it?
Yeah,
are you having a good time?
It'd be like, yeah, I wish I was straight, you know, but I can't be, right? No, that's not something anyone's sought after for. You know, George Santos is sought after for many things, but not for being gay, for being able to get away with shit that no one else can.
Oh my God, that man, you gotta get. He needs to. If he writes a book, I'm reading that shit for sure. That should be his next scandal. How has he not thought of that?
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, and he'll read it himself. Absolutely. The audiobook. I have to. That's part of the deal. It has to be my voice.
2024 prediction, we are gonna have a new like voice audio. You know what I mean? How you can like change someone's voice to be like, can you sound like Snoop Dogg? And then suddenly your iPhone can just sound like Snoop Dogg or whatever. Bet you 2024 prediction, we're gonna have George Santos as like a voice option for like GPS or Siri or like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he's on it. I mean, it's only a matter of time before he makes a podcast. He's on Cameo, I want to say, right?
Yeah. I tried to get one and I couldn't.
Really? Oh my God. Well, why not? Did he shut it down?
He like was like, I have to stop taking submissions. I've gotten too many.
That's so fucking stupid.
I know. I literally, well, like, how great would that be? I literally was like, that would be the best thing to ever happen to me if I got like George Santos to be like my favorite comedian.
Wow. There we go. Former congressional icon with the nails and everything. Oh, beautiful. Let's see this. He's getting too many?
What I thought he'd look like.
Oh my God, it's George Santos here. Yeah, I know, you look shocked. Like, oh my God. Yeah, I'm on your screen, bitch. Let me make this very...
Icon.
Yeah, it's just like you said. Like, he's trying to fit in every word in the English dictionary. Cuss words first, obviously, in order of importance. Cuss words first.
Really, he's got really great priorities, like really solid.
And then once he gets the whole lexicon done, then they'll start with the AI. They'll start putting it together. We'll get a TikTok voice. We'll get a TikTok narrator as our former Congress.
Clear, you'll never make more money than Barrett. Just deal with it. I can tell you why, because he paid $500 plus taxes and fees to send you this. Where are you buying one of these to send to Barrett? So that just case in point.
Barrett.
Oh my God. No free
name
press.
Drop, name forget.
I know.
I like that so.
I can't remember her name, but Barrett sticks out.
Barrett.
Barrett. So crazy, insane. I'm sure that was that's representative of the diligent work he was doing in public office for his district.
You're telling me you wouldn't want to sit next to George Santos during like a congressional hearing?
Oh, of course
Absolutely.
I would. Yes.
Most entertaining, like back of church goss. You know what I mean? Like that's
absolutely.
Ripping everybody in that place to shreds. Like being like, do you see him? Look how miserable and dehydrated. You know.
We're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him and people like him. It seems like Congress is getting its shit together, and public figures are starting to come correct now, and that's a shame because this is an unpopular opinion, but I loved the Trump era of politics. You know, the policies aside, just the TMZ of it all, the scandalous behavior.
I don't approve of like all of the shenanigans in Teen Mom, but damn, is it watchable? You know, like
holy shit, let's watch this guy go off. Let's see what he does. Goodness. But I think that's sort of falling by the wayside now, or people are, getting it together, and that's a shame. It makes me want to run for public office just to preserve what we had.
Oh my fucking God!
Just to make sure there's some crazy ratchet bitch in there fucking shit up.
Preserve our American ideals of, just hatred and volatility.
I mean,
it's really all we got.
Try as she might, Lauren Boebert can only jerk off so many people in a public theater.
God,
we need more hands in the arena.
She could do at least 3 if she really tries.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I will appear in the Motel 6 threesome with Lauren and John Doe.
We see off of like vape smoke and Lauren Boebert.
Yes.
If we in a motel, she could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She could do 7.
She could do 7.
In a motel, she could do 7 at a time, at the same time. That's what I'm saying.
No, we'll get the congressional lineup of people on the couch behind her. You want to talk about memes? We'll make it happen.
Can you believe that Lauren Boebert is only 36 years old?
She is?
She looks old. I was about to say something else.
She's trying to hang on, then, is what we can glean from that. She's trying to preserve her youth. Is that how you do it, though?
You're trying to preserve your youth.
Yeah.
Why? It's like antithetical to me. I'm like,
yeah. That's where you go to get Pelosi'd up and just live forever.
Oh my.
Like the gray comes in like a month-long period, like what happened to Obama.
Oh man, no, that's wild. Yeah, you're in the public view. There's no real benefit to it for your own mental anything. That's crazy to me. But
you have to wake up at 4 a.m, and it's like there's just no room for there's no room for youth.
No. But if you're just gonna be a lizard person,
yeah, probably.
You kind of have to. I think you sign your soul over in the ritual meeting, and you in the pizza parlor or wherever that redneck thought it was happening.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh boy, I love the MAGA people. I love everybody who's got like, what's the word? Like, there's such religious fervor over these figureheads, and we have to have people who are willing to put their neck on the line, say some heinous shit, do just get down and dirty, rolling around in the mud a little bit to stir everybody up, and then you just get people crying on TikTok when
oh my God,
when Trump gets impeached. But it's just like this cycle of entertainment. It's like an entertainment loop that's feeding it on all sides. That's when late night was at its height, when every late night host had an entire monologue dedicated to the political antics. Now it's a snooze fest, and for good reason.
Now we're like, the FDA, what are they even doing?
Exactly. Now the fact that John Oliver is on top, it's a bad sign. It's like, we need somebody who's losing it. We need somebody who's losing their mind. More mental breakdowns in Congress, please.
So
we can only hope, really.
Are we talking Kanye? Who are we talking?
Yes. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
We could actually have because you know what? If that's where we're at, then that's where we're at, right? If we're okay, well, now we nominate celebrities to be public officials and manage world affairs. So we're you know what I mean? We're Shakira, absolutely. She could write She-Wolf. She can absolutely solve the crisis in the Middle East. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Right? Who's your pick? If you gotta pick a celebrity, you're I think they could do a good job. They could probably get that done. You know what I mean?
And we should turn it into a game show. We gotta monetize it. Absolutely. We just make it a spectacle. The more eyes on this, the better. This cannot just be some closed door delegate vote situation nomination. This has to be it has to be American Idolized. It's got to be the voice of okay, here's our political appointee, former celebrity, and I will not stand for the people who Kim Kardashian and Kanye just running themselves. No, we need to pit these people against each other like fucking like gladiators.
Kanye just put out an album though. I don't think he'd do it. He might, just because he might if he wants to, but I feel like we'd have to find celebrities that have nothing else going on. The ones that are on Dancing with the Stars and shit, No,
I don't want that. That's lame.
But I don't think anyone that's popular is gonna do it. I think they've got to.
If Dolly ran for president, she'd win. I'm just saying, she would win.
Oh my God.
There's nothing that unites America like Dolly fucking Parton.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? And so everybody can the gays are cool, and all our MAGA people are also love Dolly. You know what I mean? It's just you got everybody is okay. I feel that's the only one that I could think of that's actually the most uniting American figure. Everyone else has got some kind of back and forth. It's I very rarely run into someone who's just who I fucking hate.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a little TV, man.
Yeah, she could definitely bridge the gap, reach across the aisle.
That she's the one that originally sang I Will Always Love You,
That's
the one that Whitney Houston sings. Apparently she was the originator. Yeah. I ain't know that. Her little country accent would sound like.
Have you been to, I always see the billboards for it. Have you ever been to Dollywood?
I've seen the billboards. I've never been. I'm gonna be honest.
No, never. It does pique my interest. I'm should I make a special trip for this, or is this gonna be an Omaha Zoo situation? Is it something I should just see while I'm there, or do I need to really plan a trip around this?
Out. But it's interesting because it's I hear that it is lovely, and I also just would want to believe. It's we know that Disneyland is kind of torturous, actually, of an experience, that you pay an ungodly amount of money to then go stand in a hot line with children that are going to scream and spit on you, and then you'll have to pay $12 for water to go have it. But we want to believe that it's the Magic Kingdom or whatever, right? I want to believe that Dollywood is this beautiful kind of tenant, you know what I mean? It's just nice. It's kind of got some soft patriotism, kind of good little southern vibe.
It doesn't slap you in the face with it. I mean, it's a butterfly, for Christ's sake, and not a big fucking American flag on the logo. This is just this is her thing. This is what she does. She seems thrilled to be there and in charge of it all.
Wouldn't you be thrilled to be Dolly Parton at Dollywood?
Oh, I would also. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about, like I said, I'm doing a mic. So what? An amusement park where I have my own soundstage. We're fucking shit up. Absolutely.
Oh, fucking God.
Oh my gosh, what a dream. And I go to King's Dominion and Busch Gardens, and you'll see all these different performances going on. Imagine a stand-up themed amusement park. And for really, would there be a more dangerous place in the world with more accidents than one overseen by stand-up comedians? But on each one of these little stages, it's not going to be little kids puppet shows and kids bop performances.
Not like your like night racism, like the sexism, like kind of like, you know what I mean? You have like your hall of mirrors, but all of them just make you look like even worse, you know? And like, that's the point, right? It turns out they're all regular mirrors. Like,
yes, the haunted house section is just every one of those open mics you described with like the shitty dive bar.
It's just a bunch of like fake audiences not laughing
at you at every stop. Oh my God, the dive bomb ride.
They do the little SpongeBob shit. The boo you sting.
Yeah, it all comes back to SpongeBob, doesn't it?
It does. SpongeBob is universal. Oh my God. I think I only know 2 people that their parents hated them and didn't let them watch SpongeBob. I think only 2 people.
What?
Yeah.
And I
feel like if your parents didn't let you watch SpongeBob, they hated you.
And they're on like a criminal watch list, right? Those people.
Yeah. Unless you didn't have cable, which is understandable because we didn't always have cable. I don't think anyone always had cable, but like if you got cable and you're not watching SpongeBob, what are you watching? You know what I'm saying?
For real. For real. Yeah, no. I mean, we all grew up on it, so it was a staple for me.
Were y'all kind of like Team Nickelodeon, or were you like Team Cartoon Network? Because I feel like that's the real divide.
Yeah, I guess
they both had bots, but Cartoon Network, they both had good shit though. But I think I like Cartoon Network more.
I definitely bounced back and forth. I was in love with SpongeBob for forever until the later seasons where it started to really get cleaned up and kidified. You know, and I loved the unhinged seasons.
It's like pre-pop star era, you know.
Exactly.
Where they were like, oh, this like boy band deserves a TV show, and this one too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That shit. I was not about that. What was that? I'm trying to think of the one boy band show on Nick.
Big Time Rush.
There's Big Time Rush, but there was another one before that too.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Yeah.
You're talking about there was like a whole slew of them. Like it felt like a thing.
Yeah, like it was a plague for sure. Naked Brothers Band. Yeah, that shit was so crazy to me. It's like, who's watching this? Slop.
Isn't that how we got Ariana Grande?
I think so.
No, that was
no, that was Victorious. And Victorious was okay. Yeah, that was when they started realizing, okay, these kids are realizing that we're spoon feeding them just all this dog shit media. Let's give them something that they can chew on, that they can potentially enjoy. But no, I bounced around mainly on the cartoons, and SpongeBob was what kept me coming back to Nick. There was another one that was, I think, was Camp Lazlo, Nick. That was
Camp
a good
Lazlo,
one.
That was Cartoon Network.
That was Cartoon Network, okay.
That is Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
There's that. I guess there weren't really a ton of Nick ones, but I loved Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That was Cartoon Network. There was Chowder.
It's hot. The fam.
Shit.
Cult classic, right?
Which one?
I was like, remember that episode with Blue, who's just like, and he was like, it's hot in Topeka, and it's literally like a 10-minute bit of him just saying it's hot in Topeka in different ways, and like. I just thought, I remember like seeing that and being like, wow.
It's like, what a choice.
Like, it's a choice. It's definitely a choice. But it worked. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. And now as a comedian, I'm just like, brilliant.
That's definitely got to be what our generation, what fucked a lot of us up enough to do comedy and shit. It's like seeing that and like just being like over inundated with SpongeBob, with like these crazy cartoons with when they got away with some just weird shit. It didn't even have to be. It didn't even have to be pushing what's okay to show kids really necessarily. And I feel like that was Billy and Mandy. That was
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage. Oh my God.
That fever dream of a show. Yeah.
That one episode where he was like, return the slab. I was like, give him back that slab. That was creepy as fuck. I was like, give it back, give him the slab.
Yeah. I'll tell you what messed me up though. What took me from just being able to enjoy those regular standard shows to being like, okay, maybe I'm evolving, right? What tipped me off was being up at like 3 a.m. watching like Robot Chicken and like Adult Swim. When that came on, it was like, oh, we're in new territory where there's gore and sexual themes. It's like we're in untreaded territory here, and it's like, should I be watching this? But it's on Cartoon Network, so do I really need to tell anybody? It has
the stamp of approval, but like, does it actually?
That shit is wild to me to think that, like, okay, you can say it's for adults, but who's really turning off the TV if they've arrived at the channel?
Yeah, it's like I'm already here. I'm not switching.
Exactly. It's like, oh, this is on. I'm not going to go out of my way to find a channel with shit like this. But if you're just like offering it up to me, I feel like they knew they were doing it too. I feel like
no, because the shit's still funny. You know what I'm saying? You're like you don't even fully get everything, but you know that the shit's funny.
Exactly. You know? It's like Family Guy sounds like SpongeBob. I just don't know if it's okay to hit women.
I think that when I was like a kid, it was like I kind of like thought like when I like saw like Adult Swim, you know, I was just like, wow, there's like engineers and like people that really are professionals that are like doing this. And then I like grew up and I found out like who made like South Park, and you're just like looking at those and you're just like, oh, that's the people that make
yeah
I see now, you know.
It's like it makes sense. These like neck bearded fucking weird Justin Roiland types, these fucking recluse weirdos that are definitely groping people.
Also, like
oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird time. You want to like you want to think about Disney World and Dollywood. I like to cherish my fond memories of cartoons growing up, but you know, it's good not to dig too deep and examine them, because then you get into the whole oh my God, who's the guy who made all those kid shows, those kid sitcoms?
The Nickelodeon guy?
Yeah, with the feet thing. What's that guy's name? Oh my God.
I feel like I'm so in the dark here. What are you talking about?
You don't know what I'm talking? Oh my gosh, let's figure it out. Who produced iCarly? Producer. I forget.
What's her name?
Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider. This guy. You do not want to look into Dan, because
I mean, just look at him. You don't want to look at him.
What a fucking creep.
Woof, woof. Oh my God, that like makes me like. Can you zoom in to like Miranda's face right there? Like, it's just so unfortunate. Like,
yeah, no,
it's like buy these things.
It's bad. It's bad.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh,
yeah, because I mean, so yeah, I see.
Can you give me a synopsis? So we say alleged abusive behavior. I'm pretty sure that face is like more confirmed than alleged. What is with the feet?
So that's what I brought up, right? Immediately, that's what comes to mind, because he was notorious for having exposed feet in scenes, or insisting that they be written in to the show. It didn't matter male or female or whoever.
There were also bare feet during that time. It is interesting that you say that. That is true.
It's him. Dan Schneider was behind it. All of it.
Because he just wanted to.
Every time Drake had his socks off, it was Dan's doing.
They all look so deeply uncomfortable around him. Like, they're all like, please help me. Like,
and you know, he smells like, maybe not bad, but he's got an odor of some sort. He's got a unique, pungent smell about him. Look at this shit. The foot sign.
Oh my God. That's right. Like the Kids Choice Awards was like always like at the foot. Oh my man.
And Ariana Grande in particular had a bone to pick with him, and there was a whole scene of her. There's her depicted on the left of putting her own feet in her mouth, and she, I think, for minutes on end, questioned them in the scene, like, do you really want me to? Why am I doing this? You know, like it didn't make any sense. It didn't add to the show in any way. Just a whole like 2-minute scene dedicated to her trying to stuff her foot in her mouth. So very, very odd behavior going on, and it involved kids, which is even worse in so many ways. But
Dan Schneider
was Zoe 101. He goes way back. So
man,
goddamn Danny boy.
Pretty much every one of these kids sitcoms on Nick, he had a hand in or a foot in.
A foot in, I would say. Yeah, a toe, perhaps.
Oh, my God.
Jeez. Good Lord.
Wow. I can't believe I didn't know that. That's so illuminating.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's the thing. It's like you shouldn't have to figure that out because it tarnishes all the whatever good memories you had of the subject matter or the source material. It's like now you're thinking of it. Every clip you see, you notice a foot or you notice somebody who looks like they're in discomfort, and it's because they are. It's because they are literally like being forced to do this, or they're going to get cut from the show and they're going to get written out in 2 episodes. So
I'm just like the intent. Man, okay. So can I tell a foot story?
Please. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
So this is so I was in a show. It was called the Psychedelic Comedy Show. It was one of the few shows that were like legally allowed to raffle off like psilocybin products in the United States.
Okay.
And which was cool. And so I got to be there because comedy. And so I was trying to get some psychedelic content. And so I like had some like mushies and I was like doing them, but every single time I would like try to do like I would try to have a trip, like something like ridiculously terrible would happen, and then I like either like couldn't do it or then would just be like fucked up in a fucked up situation, which was also not great. And so like the first time it happened, I was like, I'm gonna go to Red Rocks, I'm gonna take a hike, it's gonna be a good time. And then I like show up, it's a beautiful like sunrise, it's a Sunday, and they are having a Sunday sunrise service. And suddenly I am like very high and having someone yell at me about how like Sky Daddy knows, you know, that I touch butts and like that's not right. And so I was like, okay, well, like that's canceled. And then I like try like again, and it's because I was like, well, it's for work, you know, like I gotta like get this done. And it was like I had a work thing come up and it like didn't work out. And I was like, okay. And then like literally it's like 2 days before the show, I'm like freaking out because I like need this, I like need a punchline, you know what I mean? It's like I have this whole build and like I don't have any punchline for it. And my boyfriend, so I was in an open relationship. I'm in an open relationship, and he goes on a date with this dude, and I am at home, and I am doing mushrooms. So I am at home doing mushrooms. I'm like vibing on like the shower handle. I'm like having a good, you know what I mean? It's just like a mellow time. And my boyfriend proceeds to go on this date with this guy that was really, really into feet. And he was like, can I, and like basically like halfway through, like my boyfriend asked the dude, he's just like, are you like it's like he's brought it up enough to be like, are you like actively thinking about my feet right now? And he was like, yes. And he was like okay. And he was like, can I? And he was like, I guess. So middle of the day, they get in a car, and this dude is like in the this dude's in the passenger seat, my boyfriend's in the driver's seat, and he's like in the floor of the passenger seat, and he's like got his like leg over, and like he's like he like took his like shoe and sock off, and he's just going to like oral foot.
Holy shit.
Just going to town. Wow. My boyfriend is kind of like stunned at like how intense it is.
How engaged she seems to be in this.
Yeah. And then it's like it's kind of going on for a long time. And so he's like, how do I like kind of wrap this up, you know? And so he like takes his sock and he like crumples it up and he kind of like shoves it in the dude's mouth. The dude came instantly.
Whoa! Damn!
And he like comes home and he like tells me this story And I'm like, he doesn't know I'm on shrooms either. Like, he doesn't know. And I'm just kind of like sitting there, like, absorbing what I just told you. It's like he tells me. And I was like, oh my God, like, you just gave me, like, the punchline to the joke, which is basically, like, because I had a whole bit about going to Red Rocks on mushrooms and, like, seeing this service and being like, isn't it the worst when you, like, you lose a homie to religion? Another one bites the crust, you know? Which is nice in the past. And I was like, wow. Because I like look at him, and as he tells me, I just kind of like eyes wide. I'm just like, another one bites the crust.
Yeah, he thinks you're having a mental breakdown, and you're like, I put it all together.
Anyway, like, feed people, man, they do be into, like, no shame. Like, I'm not necessarily into feet, but like, if someone wants to suck a toe, I'm like, you go for it, bro. Like, that's great. Like, cool, love that for you, I guess. Like, I just want you to be happy, but also like them, like that people, that kink community, they are like, I'm like, wow, y'all not just like resilient, y'all like committed, y'all like determined, very engaged.
There's a whole discussion there about kinks and my foray into meeting people who are into certain things. I'm curious, Lorenzo, have you been with anybody who's got a weird sort of proclivity, sexual kink or anything like that in the straight community? I know you want to be gay. I know, like, you're like chomping at the bit because you envy us.
I'm apparently almost there. I feel it. I'm almost there. I'm just that far.
That close. Yeah, I know.
Come on over, Lorenzo. It's fun. Maybe it's fun.
The water.
You can like pussy and still be gay. It's fine, right? It worked out for me.
Exactly. Just keep your socks on or whatever. And
oh my God! No, that's shit. People say stuff like that, and then I'm like, I don't think that's how sexuality works, though. I don't think if I'm correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's
well, you can always change your mind. Right? You know, I don't say that to gay people, but I will say that to straight people very confidently.
Yeah. I mean, it's a spectrum for a reason.
Y'all will be the first that I'll let know.
Yeah, we'll get the text or whatever. It happened.
It's going to be like a group Instagram message. It's like, guys, I'm there. I'll send you a picture of me and a guy or some shit.
Yeah. So no, you don't have anybody who wants you to like do anything weird, or they want to do something. I hesitate to say weird, but I mean just like out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we don't kink shame.
That you're not used to. Okay.
We're not kink shaming. We're just not kink shaming. It's fine. It's different.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of my instances they didn't last long because it's like a good amount of like one night stands or like. Cause I feel like too is I don't know. So some people they're just out with it, but I think some people they like to get comfortable with the person before they reveal things as well. But I don't always give people the opportunity.
You dip, you leave town, you skip town before they can get there. That makes sense. It checks out.
Comfy, they start to do that little hug the arm shit, and it's like, ooh, time to go.
Time to go. They're about to let me know that they need me to choke them. Bye-bye. Yeah.
That's basic. You know, that's basic.
That's basic. I would say. Well, so I've had a couple people who want like a bondage situation. I'm like, you came to the wrong place. I hope you brought your own handcuffs, whatever you need, because
bring your own rope.
I can't provide. Yeah,
like real handcuffs. I got them for the key. So it's like I'm like the handcuffs I have aren't comfy. You don't want these around your wrist.
You got handcuffs for the key?
Yeah. So
what did you need to get the handcuff key for?
Why would I need handcuff keys? I don't know.
Yeah, just in case.
If there's a situation I was ever
handcuffed. You need to do a magic trick in a situation.
Use the key.
You just sound prepared, fam. You just sound smart and prepared.
You never know when somebody that gets paid by somebody rich to, let's say, police situations would come up while you're minding your business and put you in handcuffs, and you would need to escape from said handcuffs. You never know. You know.
Is it a universal thing?
I don't know what type of people would, do such things, but if there was ever a situation.
So did you buy like the master key to all these sets of handcuffs? I don't understand. Is it a fit all situation?
I'm pretty sure it's generic, I think.
Uh-huh.
I hope I'm right. Let me see.
I hope so too, because I mean,
it's a good backup, you know. Like
just in case. They'd be like,
No,
"What are you doing? What are you doing with your hands? Keep still." They see
and you're
the
like
key.
nothing. You're like trying to force a house key into it. So like,
Oh my god, yo! Oh shit, bro! That'd be funny as fuck. What do you?
You
What
could just be like my uncle. One of my dad's brothers. He was pretty sure he was on mushrooms. He does a lot of that awesome stuff, and he's got some really fun Facebook posts that we could examine sometime. Just a little bit of backstory, so you know how crazy this guy is. He's a big like punk rocker type, and he does a lot of he used to do a lot of like screamo shows where it's like the real death metal shit. Exactly. Yeah. And one of his shows that he was a lead singer on, he was advertising that and he had done it before because he had the flyers to prove it that he'd be doing this again, where he was going to be performing and singing or screaming while being suspended from the ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah, but by hooks, fish hooks going through his back.
Wow.
Like his skin. So and he was putting it out like, we're doing this again, you know. So it's like, oh right. He's really into.
It went so well the first time.
He didn't lose his entire back the first time. So
that's his kink. He's a masochist. He likes pain.
Well, so here's the so you could be like him. He got pulled over with a couple of my dad's brothers. My dad's got 4 brothers, so it was like 3 or 4 of them together in a car. And I think it was in Nebraska. It was for like a family reunion thing. They were all together coming from a bar, get pulled over, and they begin to get arrested for suspicion of intoxication or something. And they handcuff my one uncle, Jesse, and as soon as they handcuff him, I don't know what sort of drugs he's on or what. This is how they tell it. They must have handcuffed him in the front because they said he slammed his hands against the cop car, and then managed, with however much he could have loosened it, he managed to just break out straight up, just break the fucking logs. Like, holy shit.
Oh my god.
And he was built like Dave Bautista at the time. So I mean, he was really
he's a big dude anyway.
But I'm saying that's your master key. Just get swole and fucking break out of there. That's your backup. I mean, you don't have shit to worry about.
I'm gonna get there. Day less.
And we're gonna be the first people you let know when you do, right? You're gonna come.
I'm gonna let you know.
Gotta have a code word for every scenario.
Hey guys, you're like, I'm ripped, I'm gay.
Oh fuck. No, but as far as kinks go, yeah, I'm not really. I'm vanilla. I always have been. It's a sad plight because people get real disappointed to find out, and because
it's like you gotta tell them from the jump.
Yeah. But from the jump, I'm usually like, hey, whatever you want, I'll give it a look-see, and then we'll reassess. We'll crunch the numbers when we get there.
I don't know. I remember one time you said what'd you say? As close to word from word as I can remember. You said I do some shit that you would think is like disgusting. You said some shit. We were at Oasis. Do you remember?
No.
You said I do stuff that you would think is like disgusting. You said some shit like that, and in my head, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's nothing I haven't had someone's daughter do before.
Well, I was wilding out then when we were in Blacksburg.
He's like I was a youngin'. I was supposed to do
Lorenzo
my
and
thing.
I met on a job. We were both working at a grocery store in Blacksburg, Virginia. That's where Virginia Tech's at.
Right.
We weren't going to school there, or I wasn't. I was just there to work at this grocery store. But long story short, that's how we met. And when I was out there, I was going hog wild because I was seeing somebody. And then we had a period where we sort of had a split. And for the early days of working at that store, I mean, next to a college of all places. You want to talk about getting to work? I was going, so that's kind of I blacked out during that period, but I'm sure I was up to no good.
Oh my God! Look, you and me both. 'Cause I was out there, boy. I was out there. That's where I met my first West Virginians, I assume. Ren, I got a test if you're a real West Virginian. Finish this quote. West Virginia is
the best Virginia, fam. Obviously.
What?
West by God, not by choice, fam. Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Oh shit. He's a real West Virginian, y'all.
Mm-hmm. We all know vaginas for lovers, right? It's all right.
That is so gay. That's the gayest fucking expression. State motto.
Y'all ever read that on that hat? People, man, God, I would like see y'all walk around with these like hats all the time. It's like Virginia's for lovers, and every single time I'm just like vaginas for love. Yeah. Like every time.
It's so disappointing to see everywhere. It's so fucking, because who's coming to Virginia for? And people come to Virginia to be miserable and to get locked into a mortgage and to die. That's really pretty much it.
It's interesting, right? Because like West Virginia and their like politics disappoint me every single day. Will I defend that state to the death? Absolutely. Also, yes, right. And so like I think it's just, I don't know, like it's just funny to me because like people in like, especially out here, they'll be like, "Oh, you're from like Virginia," and I'm like, "No, West Virginia." And they're like, "Yeah, Virginia." And I'm like, "Very, very, very different."
No,
very different.
Very different. Very, very different.
Claim that. I don't claim them.
I've always
we don't. Yeah.
I've always found the Virginia's for lovers thing to be ironic because I remember when I was a kid, and I was told this story of like how this interracial couple got killed in Virginia. It was like when things were like getting. When that was considered normal in a lot of places, but they were threatened to move and they didn't move and then they killed both of them or some shit. And that's the story I know about Virginia. And I mean I don't really fuck with this rule myself, but I wouldn't kill people over it. But I think about that shit whenever I see Virginia's for lovers. I'm like, is it though? Who? You know what I'm saying?
Lots of uplifting historical fucking accounts, lots of great Civil War stories that really bring a tear to the eye.
Virginia is for white ladies who have a live, laugh, love thing on their wall and love to hate people.
Yes.
Actuals.
I can confirm. I'm in one of their houses as we speak. That's where I'm at. We're literally renting from a woman.
Stop doing auntie like that.
No. We're renting. Auntie and I are renting from a woman who used to breed golden retrievers in this house. This was just a golden retriever farm. And those and those signs were everywhere. And they had to redo the entire upstairs because it was hardwood floors, all scuffed up, and the dogs were just shitting everywhere. But everyone who could see, everyone who had eyes on a wall could see that this was a place to live, laugh, love, and Pier 1 imports in. It smelled like just the god awful like rotten Brussels sprout stench in the air when you pulled up because it was just dogs, like 20 dogs at a time.
That, like, you'll like go out, you'll like be like walking, and like someone will be like, they'll have like a golden retriever, and you're just kind of like, you're like, you know what I mean? You're like doing that thing that people do when they like get prejudiced and they like look at you weird.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're just like looking at this golden retriever with just like hate, just hate.
It changes your. It's like learning about Dan Schneider. It changes your whole outlook on an animal. Oh my God. I know what y'all get up to. I know all that nasty ass shit y'all roll around.
I know what you do behind closed doors.
She bred golden retrievers. She did French bulldogs, which my mom has one of. Nala, shout out to Nala. She's downstairs. And then a couple other select breeds. But again, there would be up to like 30 dogs in the house. So insane. But it's a big house, so I mean it's good that they redid. When I pulled up this place, the smell alone, I started gagging, and my mom started crying because she was like, "You don't like it? I don't have any this is it. This is where we're going to be living. And I could not keep it together enough for my own mother.
You're like traumatizing your mother. It's like golden retriever shit. Like you're just like I can't.
Because she'd been working with this lady and helping her with her like home dog breeding business or whatever, and making like money that way. And when she proposed that we'd be moving into this house, I thought, okay, this is a place that we'll be living, and that, you know, that's suitable to inhabit. And you've been working here for months, so I assume you understand that it's a livable environment. And when I got here, it was like D-Day. It was like getting
oh my God, yeah,
onto the beach, onto the shoreline, just the stench of death and misery. I was like, but this is insane. I thought I was going to have to split off from them and find my own situation. I was ready to go into debt, whatever I had to do to live. But
I visited my partner's family in Kentucky, and which is like funny because like I was like it's like in the same trip I was in Kentucky, and then I was like in like Tennessee, and Kentuckians are like Tennesseans trash. And Tennesseans are like Kentuckians, don't trust them. And then they both are like, oh, you're from West Virginia? Oh, well, y'all fine. What? So strange. Anyway, like I was at my partner's mother's house, and shout out Christine, we're besties. I love her. And she had to like, I forget what happened, but they like had to like bug bomb the house, but then it smelled weird, and so then they tried to cover it up with a thing, and then that smelled weird, and so then they tried to cover it up with, and it was just kind of like, it's just smelled like multiple layers of like death.
Yeah.
And like, you know, kind of the sweet, like icky smell of death, you know, when you like pass by, right? It was like that with Febreze on top. And it just, I was like, what does this smell like? And my boyfriend was like, cancer. This smells like cancer.
Yes.
So I was like, and we were supposed to like sleep in this room. And it's like, I am like, West Virginia true, right? You were like, I will put up and shut up. It does not matter how gross this like meal is. You're telling me that your mom made it, I'm gonna eat it, right? Like I have to, like it is like I will like physically suffer to make sure that I'm not being rude. And I just could not like sleep in this book. I just like could not do it. It was like one of the first times that I was ever like, I literally can't get by. Like it was atrocious. And I just was like, every week I like kind of think back to that room, and I'm like, they sold that house, and I'm just like, do you think that room ever got back to like normal states of odor? Like, do you think it's just like that forever? Like,
holy shit, you gotta air it out, put they got the air cleaners now. You gotta like, you could make an air filter, actually. Apparently, it's real easy. You just put a box fan in a box and like face it up, and apparently that's an air filter.
I was going to say, that's what I had to do in this place. I had to get an air purifier, or a couple of them, and that's what did the trick after a while, and just constantly burning candles and Febreze, everything I could do. Yeah. And now it's finally livable, and you don't question everything. You don't think we have bodies buried under the foundation when you get here. That's what it took. It took just a shit ton of prep. But there was, when you said cancer, that reminded me of a terrifying hookup story, and I'm sure we all have those.
Oh my God.
Just a dime a dozen.
Oh
but my brain goes straight to sex. So you bring it on.
This fucking, and we're already almost at an hour and a half here, so we'll wrap soon. But I just. That smell of cancer. So this guy, this guy, it's a grinder thing, of course. I'm in Stafford, Virginia. This guy was coming from Fredericksburg, which is about 15 minutes due. So no, not an hour and a half. It's just right around the corner, right? You think?
Oh, Stafford, Virginia.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Frederick. Not Frederick, Maryland. No.
Frederick's, Maryland. Yeah.
Fredericksburg from Stafford. Real quick trip. I wasn't driving at the time, or I didn't have a car at my disposal. So this guy said he would pick me up and take us back to his place, which is like, okay, great. When you're a kid, that doesn't scream murder scenario, nothing, like me putting my life in this person's hands. None of that. I was just like, oh, sweet. He's got a spot, a car. Let's do it. And so he comes through. I maybe only had and this is how fucking dumb I was in fucking high school, right? I maybe only had like 2 pictures of this person or 3 that I could really make out well, you know, and the rest were just like gray and like weird fucking photos. But they were him, and I'd verified that it was him. I was like, okay, this is good enough, whatever. I'll take what I can get. And he comes through, sure enough, picks me up. It's maybe like 7 in the evening. The sun's still out. It's going down, and we go all the way to his place, which ends up taking like 40 minutes. And we're passing all like the familiar restaurants and stores and things that I have come to know of Fredericksburg. And we're entering the sticks and some shady shit. And I'm like, okay, how far is it again? You know, where are we going? He's like, oh, it's just a couple more minutes. And we pass like a restaurant that he's like, oh, I used to work there. And he's pointing things out to make me feel comfortable. And I'm like, okay, well, still, I don't know where the fuck we are. I've never been over here, you know, starting to feel weird. And then we get to, he pulls into a parking lot to a big sort of facility. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't an apartment complex. This is clearly like some sort of facility is the word, like
a factory we take to like kill people, right?
It's fully lit from the outside. It's got glass pane windows on the front, but it looks like a medical center or like a government center. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I hope you don't mind that I live with my grandma when we park at this place. I'm helping my grandma out, and I live with her, and she says it's okay that I bring people to her room. And we're going to his grandmother's retirement home. That's where we're going. We're going to her retirement community to presumably have sex. At this point, I'm like, I'm here. I'm just stranded. Okay. I didn't have a backup plan. Nothing. Let's get in here. Let's see what Grandma's got going on. Shit. It was late enough where he was like, she should be asleep. She was asleep when I left, so we should be okay.
7 p.m.
It was. So we get in there. We get in there, and just immediately, that smell you described is what I think of when I think of like hospitals and especially retirement communities. It's just like this old crusty smell. And it's just there's something they pump in there that's not Febreze, but it's not quite talcum powder. It's somewhere in between. And we get to his the grandma's room. He opens the door. It's like sort of a common living area that we walk through, and he goes, let's be quiet here so that we don't wake her up. And then we get to his room, which is sort of just like it's like a side room without even a door to close. Like we're just sort of like adjacent the living area. And there's like porcelain dolls and shit in cases, and like clown dolls and shit, and like just like little Beanie Baby keepsakes all over the place.
Every red flag in the book.
Yeah, no, for real. And he's like, let's just, we can just lay up on the floor here and watch TV. And he rolled out a blanket for us on the ground of this side room. And there was a TV in a TV stand. Like, I guess this was like another, like her entertainment system was just in this random ass room without fucking, oh, no. He had a spring mattress on the ground. That's what it was. But it wasn't made. So he's like, oh, let me get a blanket for her. And I was just, and he puts on Ben 10, and we're just watching like Ben 10. this grown guy.
You know, that really gets me going. That big wristwatch, ooh, so manly.
And that's what, and just like you described, that's what it ended up being for me. It was like, I'm just counting down the minutes to when it's acceptable for me to ask to leave. Like, it's not working. You were talking about what sort of women make you go limp immediately. This was a limp situation I was in, just all around. I was not.
I can imagine, real talk, because I'm just thinking, I'm like, I don't think that works for anybody. I'm like, you gotta
right?
Like, what is this? You got to create an environment, and this is not. You're not doing that. Ben 10 is not that. You know what I'm saying?
And then it got to the point in the night.
You're just like, Ben 10 ain't it.
Well, it got to the point in the night where Rick and Morty came on, and this was the first time, and this is why I remember it. So this was the first time I'd ever seen Rick and Morty. So like I think of this experience every time I see that show or the branding for it. I think of this miserable time I spent.
Oh my god!
And I went maybe like 2 episodes of Rick and Morty before I was like, hey, it's getting late. I think I have to go. And he's like, are you sure you can't stay? It's okay. She says it's okay. People spend the night. I'm like, I really have to get back. It's time.
Are you sure you don't want to spend the night with my clown dolls in the side room without a door on the floor on a mattress? Sheet at my grandmother's nursing home, and you can wake up and do the walk of shame down the hallway past a bunch of 90-year-old decrepit people who might imminently pass away upon realizing you might be a gay.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want that, Christian? I don't understand. What's not to want? What's to love?
Oh my god, it's just terrifying. I've had more than one experience like that, but that was by far the most like just straight up alarming from the deliverance backwoods of it all, and then getting there realizing that this was worse than I could have ever imagined.
You could take me back to the 6 and maybe kill me. That would also be fine.
You could have just shot me in the woods, man.
Off too, I don't know.
You did not have to totally ruin this somehow. You've got worse.
I might go hard for rigor mortis at least. I don't know.
You're a little too adventurous. I don't know.
Well, that's what Grindr is. It's like you love Pokemon Go. It's just Pokemon Go with fucking crazy ass grown men with questionable decision making, right? That's all it is.
Very true. It's literally correct. I love it's like one of my favorite pastimes is to like just kind of casually solicit dick pics from people, and just how like easy that is. Like I think it's just really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I am not like a good role model example for like how to verify people or vet people online. I'm just like pick, and they're like pick, and I'm like good enough. Come over. Look, it's like really it. I will give you my nursing home story, and then I will. So it's not nearly as it's a bit of a letdown.
I know. I just totally killed the mood with that. It's just
it's the funniest shit I've ever heard. No, it was the first time that I ever got like drunk, and like it was like the first and kind of one of the only times I've ever gotten like blackout drunk. And I'm gonna name drop one of my besties back in the day. His name's Ben Denny, and I love Ben Denny. He's this big dude, wonderful musician, everybody's best friend, and just like really, just the champ that you want in every condition. Whether it's the zombie apocalypse or a wedding, it's Ben Denny. That's who you want. We get trashed. He brings a like a jug of it wasn't Bailey's, but it's like Carolinians or whatever. It's the same thing, right? It's just like Irish cream. And we just drink that together. We just drink that. We just drink that together. And I, am also like at a party. And so people are like, have this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I am like, I need to leave. And so I like didn't tell my boyfriend where I was going. I just found Ben Denny and I was like, Ben Denny, I gotta leave. And he was also shit-faced and he was like, okay. And so we walked away from our friend's party at their house, and he had parked in a nursing home parking lot. And we get there, and I'm like, Ben Denny, I don't feel so good. And I like lay down and just proceeded to vomit like a lot of Irish cream onto the pavement. And Ben Denny, being a gentleman, proceeds to grab his banjo out of the back of his Ford Taurus and play me some like Irish folk songs to soundtrack me being violently ill. And he kind of throws me a paper towel to like clean myself up, and I'm like so grateful. And he just kind of continues to play, and I continue to like vomit, and then this like lady comes out of the nursing home, and she's just like, and we both were like, we love that you all have a great night. very politely trying to leave, drunk as fuck, get in this car, and I do not condone. We do drunk drive approximately 200 feet before hitting a cone, like one of the things that divides like a road and like the bike lane. You know, the little point. It's like a sticky. You know.
Right.
That goes through our tire, and that is how I learned how to change a tire. That very night, and we just drunkenly on the side of the road changed that tire. And I still just have that information locked away in my brain. And so whenever I think of a nursing home, that's like always for me, like what comes up is just like, well, that lady sure was nice, kind of. And I also now know how to change a tire. So, you know, I don't know, nursing homes for the elderly or for us to have formative youthful experiences, you tell me.
Yeah. I told my nursing home story, not the sex one, but the real one that right? Yeah, you're nodding. I thought I did. And long story short, I was playing an event with my grandma who worked at the facility. She's not old enough to be in one. But yeah, shout out to Nana. But she wanted me to come play trumpet, and while she sung to the old people, and I was like, okay, sure. And so we're manning the DJ station and everything, and putting on a show outside of the main entrance of the building. There's like this outdoor pavilion. And it's old people getting up there dancing to songs they like that were playing for them. And there's this old dude, this 80-year-old guy who, like, I mean, like a real Joseph Robinette Biden of a man is up there shuffling, doing his thing as best he can. But you can tell, like, okay, this guy's real stiff, right? But, you know, he's moving. God bless him. And just, I turned around to get the next song ready. I don't know what I was doing at the mixing station or whatever, but I turned around briefly and I turned back to face the crowd to like announce the next thing. And before I could even open my mouth to speak, I just see something cross my eye line, and I hear this thud, like a bowling ball noise on the ground. And I look down at my feet, and there's this guy who was, again, real stiff looking, dancing. He had fallen directly, just straight up, directly on the back of his head at my feet, and he's bleeding everywhere. And it was like, holy shit, like this. And so I think of two things. Mainly I think of Rick and Morty, and then I think of the other situation, and then I think of old people at these retirement homes. I think of like watching this guy hit his head.
You didn't have helped him.
I know. If only he had a cookout device. Man, that was, I hate old people. That's the moral of the story.
Oh my God, real talk. I was thinking that shit the whole time. I was like, I think I hate old people just a little less than I hate kids, maybe. Just a little.
Old person, actually, unfortunately. Like, I agree with you, and I think that I am just gonna, like, yesterday, I was like, it was like 9 at night, and I like got myself a little cup of tea, and I like looked out on the street, and I just whispered to my boyfriend, "All cars got frost in them." Because you know what I mean? It's like what was that? Like, I'm just like, what am I sitting out on my rocking chair on my porch being like, smells like rain? Like, I just like
saying things that make sense. It fits the vibe. Yeah. Well, old souls everywhere, I'm sure will appreciate this episode.
We got back to Maitland in the end, right?
Yes.
I'm so excited to hear what happens when you call the new number tomorrow.
Oh my God. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really on the edge of my seat.
It's going to be real interesting. I'm glad we got to the bottom of it, because I was like, what the I could honestly see them having the wrong number. A part of me wishes that was the case, because then it'd be funnier.
No,
but now,
I wish I kept that fucking cup, because then I could, like, was it really a 6 or a 5, or did I fuck up? But no, we'll never know.
She was like, sometimes people dial the wrong number, and in my head, I'm like, bitch, she didn't dial the wrong.
I know. She says this out loud to me, like I'm an idiot, but I am an idiot, so it is on me.
I don't know, but while I got you on the line,
if you want to laugh, you should really watch like the tail end of that episode. And it's fucking great.
I'm absolutely going to.
You're going to be January of next year. This is housing for the homes, is what it's called. Homies? I'm sorry, for the homies.
Yeah. Yes. We got 5 shows with a bunch of comedians, and it's all going to different homeless services this year. We're donating all the proceeds to the Harm Reduction Action Center, and so it's like really awesome. It's cool, life-saving stuff, and it's a variety show too. So we got a bunch of like comedy and drag and music and like storytelling, and it's gonna be a good time. So that's in January, and then February, March, be heading y'all's way.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then. I'm ready. I'm pumped. At the end of the show here, we do a little quick segment where Lorenzo gives the audience some advice, or maybe some of the people we talked about he gives words of wisdom to. So please take it away. You got the music playing.
All right, here's my first advice. In case we didn't notice, don't fucking hop in cars with strangers not knowing where you're going. Get an address first.
I needed that one a little sooner, I think. It's a little light on 48 hours episodes, and Dateline wasn't on my radar, I don't think.
Oh my god, yo. Second piece of advice, stay away from nursing homes. Great places to park, not a great place to fucking throw up and play a banjo in the parking lot, you know?
Yeah,
not a place to live neither. Like, goddamn, like, I guess I get it, but it's like, don't bring people to a nursing home to fuck. I mean, if you into that, you into that. I don't know, but I'm like, where would you do such a thing? You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you're getting that sage wisdom. Don't bring people to nursing homes.
But the sad thing is, people need to hear it, apparently. People need to hear it because it happened. Somebody thought that was acceptable to do to somebody, and to not to warn them about it beforehand. I thought I was going to somebody's house, somebody's apartment. He's going to his grandmother.
It's the Ben 10 for me.
It's just.
That's the name of the episode. It's the Ben 10 for me. That's the name of the episode. No, Britt, I get why he did it though, because he knew if he told you before that you.
Well, yeah. Maybe the advices don't mislead people.
I like period. And have a foot fetish.
Be honest with people. If you don't want to be embarrassed about telling people you live in a nursing home, get a real place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, because we're in a recession, it's hard to have a nice place without covering the cost with somebody. But if you need a roommate, it's better than a fucking nursing home, and you'll have a bedroom door. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
At the same time, I've fucked people with other people in the room. You know, maybe they awake, maybe they sleep. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, you know what I'm saying?
In a nursing home, you're like, maybe they're awake, maybe they're dead. Like,
yeah, you don't know. You gotta check for a pulse on Nana. Ren, thank you so much for joining us. This is a wild ride. Yeah, when you come through, if you want, you're more than welcome to come in person. The pacing's a lot better when I have somebody I can look at and there's not a delay, but I'd love to have you. Definitely.
Sweet. Thank you for having me on. It was great to meet you. Lorenzo, fellow Ren. It was lovely to meet you in this beautiful little box that we got to share.
Yeah. He'll be at the show in Maryland. He's in Maryland, so I forgot to mention. So we kind of split the difference between Virginia and DC in Maryland in DC. So
Ren,
all encompassing.
You real quick. I pitched it to Christian. I was like, for the show in February, we should do like a little commercial or something, and we should be like, be here or be. Oh, we're working on it.
It's in the works.
Well, I mean, everyone in the show is either pretty witty and or gay, and so you know what, you're not far off the mark.
That's what I'm saying. We're working on something, because I was like, because you know the saying, and then it's like, but you know what I'm saying. So it's like we're working on it. We got, you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, log it, buy it, copyright it, I guess.
You got to carry it for me. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know where to. I feel like
we need a mushroom trip to inspire us to finish this one.
I feel like the delivery is slightly off. I feel like I need to alter it. You got to take it. Help me perfect this and share it with the people.
All right, we're going to cap it off with that. Thank you again for joining. All right, until next time. Can't wait to see you.
Thanks, y'all. It was good to hang.
I'll see you.
See you in February.